Hi guys, so I'm going to read Flash number 112. So this is the first appearance of Elongated Man. So Flash thinks he's about to capture me, but by stretching out my body, I can capture him. Featuring Mystery of the Elongated Man. Extra Whirlwind Kid Flash Adventure. The Flash. Whether he was awake or asleep, the Flash kept running into his arch rival, the incredible man with the fantastic ability to stretch his body to unlimited lengths. Who was this astounding creature? And what was his connection with the certain mysterious events occurring in Central City? The world's fastest human, for his own peace of mind, had to solve the mystery of the Elongated Man. The Elongated Man. He's ahead of me in our match race, even though his feet haven't left the starting line. As the Flash speeds homeward after appearing at a charity benefit performance. Huh? That kitten! Fallen off a ledge! They say that a cat always lands on its feet, but I'll make sure it is a soft landing. But just before the world's fastest human can reach the animal. Got it! Huh? And soon, as a curious crowd gathers, including reporter Iris West. Hold it! This will make a cute story for my paper. Picture news. Flash was out to save the kitten, but for once someone beat him to it. Someone who calls himself the Elongated Man, because he can stretch himself to fantastic lengths. It's easy, folks, if you have my special ability. Fascinated, the crowd swarms about the newcomer. Well, this is a new experience for me. I'm being ignored, while Iris and those other people flock around that Elongated Man. Later that week in the apartment of Barry Allen, alias The Flash. The Elongated Man again. The papers are full of him. And his pictures, too. He sure is stealing Flash's thunder. Why, only yesterday, I was strolling along the riverfront when I heard a call for help from the nearby docks. Help! Sounds like someone's in trouble. Before the call for help had faded away, a secret spring had been pressed on my ring. My Flash uniform had spurted out, expanding instantly on contact with the air. But in the split second it took me to Flash the docks. Scooped again, by the Elongated Man. Hold on, I'll pin you up to safety. And he seems to be on the spot, especially when Flash is in the vicinity. It's as if he wants to rob him of popularity, or to eclipse him in the public eye. I can't help wondering. Who is the Elongated Man, really? And how did he get that special ability of his that enables him to stretch himself out so fantastically? So, you wish to know about Flash's rival, eh, Barry? Well, that's an understandable desire. Actually, the facts about Elongated Man are not so extraordinary as you might imagine. For example, he was born Ralph Dibny, the second son of an average Midwest American family. One day, when he was 9 years old, his parents took him on a traveling sideshow. Jimmy Pete, look at that man twist himself around like a pretzel. Come on, Ralph, there's other things to see here. Let me alone. I'm going to stay here and watch him some more. Ralph just couldn't get enough of the India Rubber Man. At the end of the show, Excuse me, Mr. India Rubber Man, but could you tell me how you stretch yourself that way? Sorry, young feller. I can't tell you. You see, it's a trade secret. Oh. When Ralph went home at the end of the day, he knew what his ambition in life was. I've never seen anything so exciting as that India Rubber Man. And somehow, some way, I'm going to learn that secret of how to stretch myself out. As Ralph Dibny grew up, he carried his resolution. I visited 5 India Rubber Men in sideshows all over the country, but none of them seems to be able, or to want to tell me how he does it. At the end of a disappointing year, I'm beginning to think that there is no secret how they do it. I think that the first one long ago was just having a joke at my expense. He didn't realize he was putting me on trial that's taken all my life. For nothing. But wait a second, I just thought of something. Golly, it just popped in my head. What Ralph Dibny thought of, and suddenly remembered, was this: that in every India rubberman's tent where he had gone, there had been a bottle of soft drink called Gingold. But what does that mean? I found out that the Indian rubbermen don't drink Gingold because they think it will make them stretchier, but only because they happen to like it. But if they all like it, isn't that some kind of clue? Oh, young Dibny found out some other things too. I've learned the main ingredient of Gingold is the juice of a little known tropical fruit, and I've isolated the essence of that fruit by chemical means, enough to affect me, if it has any effect. Steeling himself, Ralph downed the draught at a gulp. I don't feel anything. Not a thing. Downcast, the youth walked the streets. I failed. All my life has added up to nothing. Eh? That flower pot. Instinctively, Dibny threw a hand up towards the falling pot. Jiminy Pete! My arm! It's stretching like rubber! And soon an exhilarated Ralph Dibny tested out his new talent. I've solved the secret of elongating my body. It's brought about by a mysterious ingredient in the Gingold drink, plus an exertion of willpower. I can train myself to stretch out almost indefinitely. He decided that from then on he would become known as the Elongated Man, and even invented a costume. This uniform of mine is made along the lines of stretch nylon, only it's much stronger and infinitely more stretchable. Now I'm ready to realize my ambition. But what was Ralph Dibny's ambition? That remains for the Flash to puzzle out. There's something about this Elongated Man. Ever since he came to Central City, certain peculiar things have happened that point to a finger of suspicion about him. There was this case a couple of days ago. An outside window was forced on the 20th floor of a skyscraper in Midtown, and a safe inside looted. The wall was sheer, but the Elongated Man could have reached down from the roof during the night, and easily pulled the job. And that's not the only one. There were other robberies of the same mysterious kind. Hey, my phone. What's that picture he has in the background? It's creepy. Anyway, but hello? Oh, hello? It's Iris. Good gosh, did I have a date with her that I've forgotten all about? Barry, I just wanted to tell you. She's gonna bawl me out again for being late again. If you see your friend Flash, would you pass on a friendly warning to him from me? Huh? Tell him that he may not win the Man of the Year award this year. The Elongated Man is a strong contender, and could beat him out for the honor. Oh! After Iris is hung up, so, the Elongated Man again. And he's threatening to beat out the Flash for the Man of the Year award. Well, we'll see about that. Moments later, the fastest man on Earth rockets across Central City. I have an idea that will not only prevent the Elongated Man from winning such an honor, but will expose him for what he really is. Soon, in the office of the Chinese importing company. Yes, it is true, Flash. We are going to postpone our exhibit of Ming vases due to the wave of mysterious robberies in town. Yes, I know. Though my identity is Barry Allen, research scientist at police headquarters. But I've come here, gentlemen, to urge you to do no such thing. What? You ask us to take a risk? Do you realize, Flash, that this pottery from the 15th century, the Ming Dynasty in China, is practically priceless? I do, but listen. It's our best way of trapping the elusive robber. And as for your pottery, I myself will undertake to guarantee its safety. Well, in that case, in the exhibition hall, shortly, the world's most wonderful watchman guards on duty. At super speed, I'm invisible, and I can cover every one of these exit doors simultaneously and to play it safe. I'm starting my rounds even before they put the vases out here. The Elongated Man doesn't realize it, but I'm setting up a trap for him. He's sure to have read about this exhibition, and if I'm right, he'll be here. Hey? Flash, where are you? As the scarlet speedster applies the brakes. Oh, Flash, the most terrible thing. The precious vases. They've been stolen from the warehouse next door, before we could even put them on display here. Great Scott! Like crimson lightning, Flash darts towards the scene of the crime. The Elongated man! I've caught you red-handed. Flash! After me? As the Elongated man races off. Got to get away. I'll prove he's no match for me. Got him! By stretching myself around this tree, I can grab the Flash. But not even the Elongated man can outspeed the world's fastest man. Now, where are those vases? In the garage behind the warehouse, where I put them. I put them here so they'd be safe, after I took them from the crooks. From what crooks? In the adjoining garage. Here they are. I locked them in here, and I was going for the police when you stopped me. Great stars. I thought that you were the guilty party. As matters get cleared up. Then you came here early in order to capture these robbers and clear your good name. Which is Ralph Dibny, by the way. Yes, I did, Flash. You see, when I realized I had this amazing talent to stretch myself, I vowed I would only use my ability in emergencies, or to help people. But these thieves were making it look like if I was the culprit, committing the mysterious crimes, so I had to try to clear myself. Say, I recognize those men. They belong to the Perry Vito gang. But where's their ringleader? There was a third man, but he escaped me, Flash. That must have been Perry Vito himself. Gotta track him down. As Flash embarks on a super-speed manhunt. Perry Vito is the most wanted criminal in the state, but so far he's managed to elude capture. Eh? Marks of a car here. That took off so quickly the tires left rubber marks on the road. Perry Vito must have been in that car. As the world's fastest human trails the getaway car by his own unique methods. No sign this way, or this way. Here's something. Those tire marks again. And soon as the Earth's swiftest pursuer gains sight of his quarry, there he is, and just as I suspected, it's Perry Vito at the wheel. With an extra burst of speed, Flash detains the crook. This is one way to stop the car. By rapidly circling around it, I've created a suction that has raised the car off the road. As the speedster seizes the gang chief, better button up your overcoat, Vito. You may find it windy in this super swift trip to police headquarters. Later, in the office of the police chief, Vito has confessed, Flash, that he and his gang committed those mysterious crimes with the aid of a helicopter. They figured that the Elongated men would be suspected, and that would leave them in the clear. But thanks to you, Flash, they're in the clear. Some days later, at a special ceremony arranged by Picture News, and we announce a tie for the Man of the Year award. Flash and the Elongated man divide the honor. How about the two of them shaking hands? Right. Just sit where you are, Flash. Ooh, talk about a boarding house reach. Ralph, I sure like you with me at all the banquets I attend this season. Any time, Flash, any time. In the end, but the second story, so the Flash presents Kid Flash. Ralph Parker, the city use advisor in Blue Valley, warned his young charges not to buy the dangerous Go-mobiles that were being sold by an unscrupulous out-of-town firm. Thanks to Kid Flash, alias Wally West, several near accidents were averted, but then another and even more terrible menace to the town's teenagers erupted in this story we call Danger on Wheels. Those two kids in their Go-mobiles were playing chicken, and it looks like one of them may be a gone goose unless I can reach him in time. In Blue Valley Public School, Linda Grant, pretty and popular young teacher, addresses her class before the summer vacation. Well, boys and girls, this is the end of the school term, and the last day you'll spend in this old school building. When you return in the fall, you'll come to the new building. Here's a picture of what it's going to look like. Oh, super cool. And now goodbye, class. I'll see you in September. As the class flies out, including Wally West, whose secret identity is the amazing Kid Flash. Everybody in our class likes Miss Grant. She's so pretty and lively, but somehow she doesn't seem like herself today. Curiously, for a moment, Wally lingers in the doorway and sees, jumping jets, she's crying. On impulse, the alert lad returns. Miss Grant, is there something wrong? I couldn't help but noticing. Oh, Wally, I didn't mean for anyone to see, but since you've asked me. As words and tears tumble from the pretty teacher, Ralph Parker, the city youth advisor, and I are engaged to be married. Yes, Miss Grant. All the kids in the town know that. Well, Mr. Parker is in the construction business, and he submitted a bid to build the new school. He wanted so much to get the contract he entered, an especially low bid. But an out-of-town firm put an even lower bid and won the contract. They're the ones who are erecting the new building now. Naturally, Ralph and I felt bad, Wally. And now, thinking of the new school made me think of our disappointment. We even had to postpone our marriage. Gosh, Miss Grant, I'm sorry. Outside, after the teacher has recovered her composure. Bye now, Wally, and thanks for your sympathy. So long, Miss Grant. Hope things turn out all right. I sure wish I could do something to help Miss Grant and Mr. Parker. They're both so nice, and it does seem a shame Mr. Parker didn't get that contract. On his way home, Wally passes the construction site of the new school. According to Miss Grant, the Big Ace Construction Company is contracted to finish the new building before September. That sure is fast going, since they just started only 2 months ago. Shortly, some blocks away, I guess Ralph Parker couldn't match that speed. And that must be one reason he didn't... Huh? Slug 'em, Dobie! Jumpin' jets! Those 2 thugs attacking Ralph Parker. Looks like he could use the help of Kid Flash. Concealed in shadow, Wally presses a hidden spring on his ring, and instantly, by a secret chemical formula, Wally's Kid Flash uniform expands enormously in the air as it spurts from his ring. Then a bright scarlet shape whizzes towards the unequal conflict. Mr. Parker probably couldn't handle those muggers one at a time, but both together. Dobie, look! What in blazes? Gotta use some speed stunts to drive those thugs off. By whirling round and around his foes, the fastest boy alive sets up a wind action that sends the thugs reeling. I've seen my idol, the Flash, do this. The wind, set up on my super speed, can be as powerful as a hurricane. As the wind sends the assailants running, I'm forcing them to run, in order to keep from falling. They can't help themselves. Moments later, what was that? I don't know, and I'm too pooped to try and find out. As Kid Flash rejoins the man he rescued, Mr. Parker, are you all right? Yes, but you can't be the famous Flash. You're too small. Startled, Ralph Parker learns the truth. What? You're Flash's boy protege, Kid Flash. That's right, Mr. Parker, and I live around here. As the two rapidly strike up a friendship. Well, I'm sure glad you came along just now, whoever you are. I can't tell him my real identity. I promised Flash to keep it a secret. But Mr. Parker, who were those men you were fighting with? What were they after? Beats me, Kid Flash. I never saw them before. Briefly, the youth advisor relates what led up to the unexpected attack. And I was leaving the new school site when those two lit on me. I'm the faintest Wait a minute. I just thought of something. Since you live around here, Kid Flash, you probably know that lately, as city youth advisor, I've had some trouble with an outfit, selling the speedy go-mobiles, little autos that are supposed to be fun for kids, but really go much too fast for just fun. I know. Only this morning I saw a couple of kids playing chicken in their new go-mobiles. They sped at each other to see which one would give way, only they came too close and collided. The go-mobile, overturning. The driver will be hurt. No one was watching me. They were all watching the collision. And in that instant, before anyone could notice, I became Kid Flash. At super speed, I managed to reach the driver and and pull him out of the overturning car before anything could happen to him. So fortunately, no one was injured. They may have hired thugs to do their dirty work. But you mean, Mr. Parker, that you suspect the Go-Mobile salesman of attacking you? They know I've been campaigning to get the city to bar the sale of their vehicles to children, as too dangerous. I see. Look, there's the agency now. As the boy speedster acts on impulse. Just a moment, Mr. Parker. I'm going to do a little investigating here, in my own way. I wonder what that amazing youngster hopes to find out. When Kid Flash reappears. No, it couldn't have been the Go-Mobile people, Mr. Parker. They closed up the agency and left town a few days ago. I spoke to the owner of the building. In that case, there's another possibility, Kid Flash. The attack on me took place right after I left the site of the new school. I had gone there, because I figured the Big Ace Construction Company might have some new methods of construction that would enable them to finish the school so fast. I wanted to learn about them, but I didn't find anything, although I looked around. It was scarcely 5 minutes later that those thugs pounced on me. Jumping jets, I wonder. Grimly, the keen-minded boy speedster poses a query. Tell me, Mr. Parker, is it possible the Big Ace Company is using poor or cheap materials in their construction of the school? That occurred to me, Kid Flash, but it would be difficult to find out. It would take a couple of years of use, and then the inferior materials might give away, and maybe even endanger kids' lives. A couple of years' use. I could find out quicker than that. Come with me, Mr. Parker. As the scarlet stripling seizes his friend by the hand and whizzes across town. Where are you taking me? To the school site. It's after hours, and by now all the workmen have left. Inside the half-finished building. What? You're going to give the materials here several years' use in a couple minutes? That's right, by super speed. We'll soon find out what we want to know, Mr. Parker. I'll start with this floor. Around and around the floor whizzes the Crimson Comet. It's incredible. With his fantastic speed, Kid Flash is giving this floor in a few moments the amount of wear it would get from a whole room full of kids in a couple of years. Suddenly, breaking through. This proves, as the speedy youth nimbly vaults back into the room, that the floor they built here would only last a year or so, Mr. Parker. Now let's try the gymnasium equipment downstairs. Then as Kid Flash puts the equipment in the gym to his amazing time test. These flying rings would break in about a year. This trapeze bar wouldn't last 6 months. There go the parallel bars. They're defective too. Do you realize what this means? This building is a fraud. It's built to last only a couple of years. And that's why the Big Ace Company was able to submit such a low bid. Right, Mr. Parker. Now let's go and... You two ain't going nowhere. The two thugs who attacked you before. This time, we'll take care of that snooper and do it right. And that includes the kid in the costume. Kid Flash, look out, they've got guns. Gotta reach them before they can fire. The boy speedster utilizes the intervening hurdle to gain momentum and is plunged forward and... Great Scott! He bowled them over before they could even pull a trigger. Grab this gun, Mr. Parker. Keep it on these mugs. After the attackers have been herded to police headquarters. So it looks like you and Kid Flash have uncovered an attempted swindle, Mr. Parker. Our investigation shows the Big Ace Company has pulled this in other towns. They put up a quickie school building for a cheap price. But the building barely lasts long enough for them to get out of town with their ill-gotten profits. We'll need a new building altogether, Mr. Parker. And as chairman of the school board, I'm going to recommend that you erect it. But can you finish the job by September? I can try. At the end of the week. Ralph, you wouldn't have a chance to finish the school in time. Except for one thing. The entire student body has agreed to give you a helping hand. I understand it was Kid Flash who talked the students into giving up their summer vacation for this project. Yes, we have a lot to thank that amazing youngster for, Linda. No doubt about that, Ralph. This whole town does. And that's the end. So there'll be more Kid Flash stories in the future issues. I'm not sure. I think there is. I'm not entirely sure if I downloaded them though. But yeah, I just read this Kid Flash story because I didn't want to leave it out. I feel really bad if I left it out. So I didn't want to leave the Kid Flash story out. But anyway, um, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. And thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.